So another part of curriculum or something you can try and teach with your students is something called Go, Slow, and Whoa foods. I've had great success with this lesson, and I think you will too. So basically, you look and see, kind of teaching them, reiterating about the healthy plate and looking at fruits and vegetables that we want to make those be certainly go foods, grains, proteins, those types of things. Those are also, go foods, but some can be categorized into slow foods depending on the type of protein they are or carbohydrate. But kind of just giving them the mentality, does this food make you go, want to run, want to be active? Does this food make you want to slow down a little bit? Or does this food make you want to completely sit down and stop? So I have a list right here of the go, slow, and whoa foods, but basically looking at the food groups and categorizing those into snacks, kind of looking specifically of the go type foods. So if we just look at milk products, so for instance, skim milk, 1% milk, fat-free, low-fat yogurt, those would all be go foods to eat almost any time. Then you come over to the 2% milk, processed cheese, spreads, those types of things. Those would be sometimes foods or slower foods. Again, not as fast as the go foods, but a little slower. And then finally is the whoa foods, or the once in a while for a treat type of food, but the whole milk, full fat cheese, full fat cream cheese, yogurt, etc., those types of things. So kind of just talking through each of these areas with students and seeing what they understand and comprehend from the different types of foods. Again, we never want to fully limit any type of food. You never want to totally cut it out of your diet. We always want to teach moderation and to use food, in moderation, that it's sometimes okay to have this, but we don't want to have chocolate cake every day, etc. So then we go into understanding, is it a go, a slow, or a whoa food? So I've kind of tied in, if it's a whoa food, you do some squats. So I have whole class stand up. And if it's a slow food, you do knee lifts, because we can do those kind of slow. And then a run in place would be a go food. So again, starting with the easiest, running in place, then knee lifts, then squats, you kind of get the picture. So starting with bananas and looking to see, is that a whoa food, a slow food, or go food? So the answer, of course, would be go food, so students would run in place. Then we look at mayonnaise, whoa, slow, or go. Again, that would be a whoa food, so we do some squats and kind of talk about the high fat content of mayonnaise. Then we go into fruit juice. Again, what would that be? That would actually be a slow food, so knee lift. So we want to drink more water more than anything over fruit juice, because it has a lot of sugar in it. And then we'll go into a brief review. Again, this is all not how you would teach the lesson. Of course, you go a lot slower and do more instruction, but I'd have the students review and give me 3 examples of go foods, and those are some examples there. 3 examples of slow foods. Again, there are some examples, and whoa foods. And again, we talk on why they are go, slow, or whoa foods, and what do they make you feel like after you ate them specifically. So creating a meal is also something else I've had them do, and take it out the door. So based on the list, and you can give students a list or as a form of differentiation, or give them a partial list, or even just food groups, and have them come up with the go foods, the slow foods, and a whoa food. Kind of looking at that, they can pick one of the plates to make, draw, write, construct, or something. Again, a great way to teach students about everything in moderation, but we want to go with the go foods more than anything. So this next component of curriculum is actually research-based, but it's a really interesting study, and the power of role modeling and the power of not necessarily twisting facts, but encouraging students and kind of getting down to their level. So a school district a few years back, and several since then have done this, but they actually looked at the lunch line and what students were eating. And of course, given the scenario or typical, carrots, peas, broccoli, these types of vegetables were not highly sought after in the lunch line. So to encourage students to try and want to at least try the foods, or encounter in their taste, what they ended up doing was putting fun names associated with these food groups or these vegetables, and they weren't actually a stretch. I mean, they are technically closely related to the food group or that particular vegetable, but what they did, they put the same exact vegetable with the new sign out front, and they found that students ate up to about 50% more of that particular vegetable than the day before when it just had the word carrots or peas or broccoli. So X-ray vision carrots was a cool thing that they came up with, and we only say that because carrots do have to play a role into our our eye health and actually do help us to see more clearly and more vividly. Power peas, just a kind of a fun way to bring in some other nutrients. Dinosaur broccoli trees, warrior sticks, laser beans, super duper spinach. You can even tie in like with Popeye with that, or super power cauliflower. I mean, all these fun terms that, again, students ate more of. Now, with regards to role modeling, and this is a true story, one of my students from 4650 a few years back went out and had some small carrots that she brought to her school, her field site, and the kindergartner that she was with asked about what they were in fact, and she said they're carrots, and they're X-ray vision carrots. You can see better at night. And the student, have you ever had carrots? The student asked, and the student said, no, I've never had carrots. And she said, would you like to try one? They help you see better. And that student was like, really? And so they ended up tasting a carrot and actually going home and asking their parents to buy them some carrots. So it wasn't just that the student didn't want to eat vegetables. Perhaps they just had not been exposed to them, or exposed to them in a way that was interesting. So the X-ray vision really sold that child into trying the carrots. So when you are in front of your school, in front of your classroom, again, the power of role modeling is so important. So consider what you're eating and what you're drinking in front of your students. And if you're talking about nutrition, the importance of it, perhaps you can role model that as well, and bring in a bottled water or a a refillable water bottle instead of having a Coke can on your desk, or having some fruits or vegetables as part of your lunch instead of something prepackaged or chips or something like that. So just consider the students are watching, and it's not meant to detriment what you eat. You still want to have freedom over that, but if we are trying to teach them about nutrition, we ourselves want to practice what we're teaching as well. So this is just an activity, and of course you don't have to do this because this is a online lesson, but I just wanted you to think of maybe by yourself of a name that you could come up with for a fun food, and just a neat way to introduce it to students and what it could be, Kung Pound Kiwi or something like that. Just a neat way to increase their interest in nutrition.